This conference will now be recorded.
All right. Well, we'll call the meeting to order and we'll start with the roll call. Ms. Kellmeyer.
Here.
Ms. O'Connell.
Here.
Ms. Dillon.
Here.
And Mr. Kish.
Here.
All right, Mr. Kish, you have a quorum, and what I am seeing in addition to, we've got myself, Chris Dudak, we got Mitch Gilbert, Robert Soto, and that's all I see. If somebody's just calling now. Caller number 5, could you identify, whoever just called in, could you identify yourself?
Ronald Benson.
Ron Benson, okay. Ron, good to hear you from you. And,
Good to be heard.
Okay, cool. All right, first item of business would be the approval of the agenda. Any changes or additions?
I have none. I move we approve.
I'll second
I
that.
second that.
Whatever.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, that takes us to the audience comments on agenda items. Is there anyone that would like to comment on any agenda items? None? That'll take us to the minutes. Any corrections or changes to the minutes?
I have some.
I just,
Go ahead, Perry.
okay, just on 74,
74, okay.
right, where we have the second line, they should be aware of what information is being distributed. I think what we said, or what I requested, was that we be copied.
Instead of aware?
Yeah. Because I think
Okay.
that was the issue, that one went out, and, okay, that's all.
Catherine?
Okay. I have on section 21, I'd like it to reflect that Robert was not there and I gave the report. It kind of said that, but didn't leave out that, or it left out that Robert wasn't there. And that was one. On number 55. Whoop, I forgot to take the clock out. Hold on. I only have 4 chiming at one time, and that was only one. On number 55.
Okay, a second, Catherine, to make the change that you've asked for on line 21. Robert, we will start just in front of your name. Robert Soto wasn't in attendance, so Supervisor Kellmeyer, would that work?
That would work, thank you.
Okay.
Number 55. I don't have the minutes up right now, but it was referring to some pothole asphalt work on Union Road for $1,700. That should be Stella Morris North.
Okay. Yes, it should.
Okay. Number 42.
42?
42. The minutes reflected that the new color was going to be beige. I think there's 2 different colors according to Chris's report. One is, I'm going to say, cayenne, and the other one is a cayenne stone and rose dust, as compared to just beige.
Okay, but that's not what was said. It I think they said beige because that was thought to be the closest to the color. And Chris is, he's picked out the cayenne stone, which
Okay.
is the closest to beige. So
Oh,
how
beige
about if
is
we
fine
say
then.
the board chose the closest to beige?
There you go.
Okay.
And then I have, well, I got two other ones. Item 7. I'm sorry to go backwards. It said that Tony called the meeting. I believe Russ called it in Tony's absence, and Tony showed up late by only a couple minutes, but I think Russ did call the meeting to order.
Okay, so if we put in front of chair, we'll put vice.
There you go.
You want breakfast before we go?
What was that?
So somebody, caller number 6, please either mute or who is caller number 6?
How do you say? How do we undo it?
Caller
Ray
number
Jensen.
7. Okay. Ray, say Ray Jensen again, please.
Ray Jensen.
Okay, caller number 7 is Ray Jensen, Chris. Caller number 6, whoever came in just before this call, could you identify yourself, please?
Ooh. I'm not sure if that's you, Chuck, or not.
No, that's you. Okay. Whoever just spoke, that's them. Who is that?
That's Chuck Gordon.
Chuck Gordon. Okay. Number 6 is Chuck Gordon then, Chris. Okay, I'm sorry, Catherine. Going back.
Okay. That took care of item 7. And then I've got a question on 21. I don't remember any additional plants being installed. Does anybody have any recollection of plants being installed in my report? I don't have any, but
That
I
might
may
have
have.
been in Robert's report, the written report.
Item 21. Oh, no?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Robert?
I don't know.
Yes.
Can you comment on that? There was a report, let's see, let me find where it was.
Was item 21.
Yeah, I'm there, but I don't
There's
say
some-
anything about plants.
I don't have nothing for plants on my side.
Okay, what line in that 21 are you talking about, Catherine? I don't see anything about plants.
You don't
I
see
see
anything
places.
about.
It says
Carrie,
at the
did you?
end, some will be installed soon.
Uh,
The last line.
on the second, okay, some additional plants will be installed. Okay, I see. It's on the next page. Did you, in your report, did you put anything about additional plants being installed, Robert, last month?
I don't recall on that one, the one that I got right now. I'll look in my notes, but I'll see maybe if there's something that got said or something, and I'll.
Let's just scratch it. It has no bearing on the minutes, so
Okay.
we'll scratch it.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I
Anything
had.
else?
That's it. Thank you.
Any if the board is okay with the changes suggested, then need a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
So moved.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
Okay, let's see. Minutes, Mitch, you're up.
Good morning, everyone. It's Mitch here with Florida Utility Solutions. Everything's working fine back at the water plant for the most part. We have had a couple issues. I don't know if it's due to the lightning or just the stuff is old, but the water treatment plant, as far as process, it's making great water as always, no issues. The number 2 SCADA computer, which is, we have 2 computers that run the water and wastewater plant, and they're copied, so you can run the plant with either one. One is identical to the other. The number 2 computer crashed, and it's irreparable, so we're getting a quote from them to replace it. Once we got that quote, we'll send it to Ron Benson for his review, and then next month I'll bring it to the board for you guys to look at.
Okay, hey,
The
Mitch,
yes, sir.
is that one of the potential lightning damage issues?
I don't. They can't say if it is or it isn't. I don't know that it was lightning. It's really old, so the power supply went bad. We actually had another one back there that the SCADA, the company that come and looked at it, they switched the power supply around, and the motherboard was bad too. So they say it's beyond repair, but they could not say for sure whether it was or was not lightning.
Okay, if we could get verification that it was lightning damage, we can submit it as an insurance claim.
Okay, I'll ask him and see, but it's a 12-year-old computer or 10-year-old, so.
Okay.
I mean, anyway, I'm working on getting a quote for that. The wastewater. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One question on that computer. If by the time you get a quote and Ron Benson sees it, you come back to the board, is it safe for us to be at least 6 weeks without that second computer?
It is, because we have there's 2 computers there, and then when they designed the plant, they did something ingenious, in my opinion. They have another system in the electrical room, so I could lose all computers and still run that plant. It wouldn't be user friendly, but it can be done no problem. We did it like that after the hurricane, so yes, it'll be fine to go 6 weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome. The wastewater plant, it's making great effluent. We're not having any issues with it. Everything looks great. They came out to do the service on all the generators. The generator at the fire station, we call it, which is the pumps along the canal there, that generator, it runs, but it failed to produce power. So they're looking at the power unit for that. So I'll have hopefully a quote for you at the next board meeting for that. That as well, if we were to have an issue, we have portable generators, so we could put over there if we need to. So it's not a emergency either.
Okay. Mitch, this
yes.
is Ron. I
Yes,
believe one of our projects that's on the CIP list in the out year, in a few years, was replacement of that generator. Is that correct?
It is, yes, sir.
Okay.
It's probably the oldest, without a doubt. It's the oldest generator in the generators that POI owns, including the one out in the well field.
Yeah, we had some repairs, I think, on it around the time you first came on board, and I think the consensus was to keep it working because it's backup equipment, but eventually it has to be taken care of.
Correct. So I will get a quote for the repair, and I will ask them for a quote as well, just to replace it, so you can have something to compare the repair quote to.
Good.
And I'll bring that at the next board meeting. The lift stations, no issues. They're all working fine. The reuse system, everything is working fine. Other than that, it's all just the normal turn-ons and shut-offs and so forth.
Okay. A comment while we're on Mitch's. Ron and Mitch and I have been discussing the possibility or the concern that we should have regarding wastewater and COVID-19. And it's Ron's gonna get some estimated prices for testing of the wastewater before it comes in. They're really the effluent, which goes into your irrigation, is treated with disinfectant and everything else. So there's no concerns on what's being put out of the plant. It's just what's coming into the plant. And that Ron's going to get some an estimate for you, so that we can at least consider, is that something you want to know? If it did come in that there was some, the virus was in the waste stream, do we know that somebody within the community has it? So
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Why are you doing that?
Why are we doing it?
Yeah.
We're not. We're just getting a price for you, so you can consider it if you'd like to know that or not.
Is any other major utility doing that?
In this area, Clearwater is, but none of the utilities in Southwest Florida.
Cal, this is Ron. Yeah, I sent you this morning the pricing. I think it's on the order, by the time you include shipping the samples and all that, it's probably about $400 or $500 per sample. But detailed information did get sent this morning, kind of late, but that's when we got it. The question, that I think is the main question would be whether, well, let me back up. Russ was asking about other utilities. What we do, the operations folks in our firm are in contact with a lot of these other utilities in the area, and they actually called us, some of them asking if we would check to see which other utilities were doing this, if any, to help them, just gather information to make a decision. And right now, the status is there are utilities in Southwest Florida thinking about it. The only one that I know of that's implementing it as of today, and we may have missed a couple, but the one we do know, and they're one of our clients, is Gasparilla Island Water Association, north of Sanibel. And I don't know what the reason that they had, their board had a specific concern, but they did they're starting it, I think, this week. But City of Naples, Collier County, places nearby. As far as we know, as of today, no one is doing it, but everybody's kind of talking about it. So we sent Cal the information, sent them some links on the EPA and CDC and some other websites that specifically address things you might be concerned about. And so for public information, the CDC and the EPA both say you do not have to worry about your potable water system, because the type of treatment that you have and the minimum required in this country, but we have even higher level than the minimum. We have the membranes, which are RO membranes, which actually remove things down to the element size, like chemical size, like iron or calcium. Viruses and things are much bigger than that. So everything like that gets rejected. But so the drinking water would not by any chance have it. Even after the membranes, it's disinfected with chlorine. And this particular virus does not stand chlorine. I mean, that's why they spray everything down with like a bleach solution when they clean for COVID, because it doesn't like chlorine at all. the wastewater effluent goes through sand filters and then it's chlorinated at a high rate for disinfection for making reused water, and it does the same thing. So that, like I said, EPA and CDC have made statements that you don't have to worry about that stuff. So it would be, if you tested for it, it'd be for information. No state agency or federal agency is requiring it. There are utilities throughout the country that are testing for it, and they're even going back up their sewer system to find out which parts of their community have the higher rates of COVID. And it's really more of a concern from the public health people as they're tracing where people have the infection based on following the sewage. And so that I'll stop there.
Yeah, and I guess, Russ, it's nothing that we're doing. We just want you to know that we're considering everything and not.
But that's like getting a test and getting a result and not being able to do anything about it. So it's kind of a waste of money.
Sure.
That's it. That's all I think on it. So.
It's and like Ron said, it's the only advantage it would give us is information, and it's but we're confident that the wastewater that's being put out of the system is clean and not a contaminant. Okay. Anything else for Mitch?
We talked last month about the number 2 well pump warranty.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I forgot to discuss that. They covered that 100% under warranty. So it's all corrected, and there was no charge for it.
Great. Okay.
I have a couple, Mitch.
Yes, ma'am.
How you coming with the backflow preventer handles?
We're still moving along, doing them here and there. I don't know that they're all done. A lot of them's been done.
Okay.
But
that's fine.
They're working on them, and your meter box was replaced at 330 Newport Drive as well.
Wonderful. And one more. In Chris's notes, there was a valve box cover missing from 169 Venus K.
That one I do not know for sure. 169 Venus K?
Correct.
Okay. That one I don't have the answer for. I'll have to check. If it's not done, I'll do it.
Thank you.
Oh, one other thing, Chris, they cleaned out that back room at the water plant. It looks great. So
it looks great.
Yep. So as great as an old abandoned room can look.
For us neatniks, it's a good thing.
That's right. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Anything else for Mitch?
No.
All right, Robert, you're up.
Okay. Good morning, guys. Glad to be back with you guys today. I just want to give you guys what's going on with us with the COVID. We're up to 8 positive cases already. I've had to put down the crew down south that manages and takes care of the port. None of those guys have gotten sick. It's been our crews where we're all together up in our shopping area, up in the estates. Claire got sick, and me and my wife, we went ahead and quarantined ourselves because we were always close to her. Everybody that I had sick as of right now, they're back and they're healthy. My wife just got surgery on Monday, and we all had to get tested in order for her to get surgery. So we're on the clear on our side with my family. So it's been kind of challenging ever since, it kind of started, and it kind of just, it spread pretty quick, and it was a complete crew that got it. And so we were bouncing around crew members to help out, from tree service to help out lawns and, whatever they can help out. So we've been bouncing around and been all over the place, but, hopefully moving forward from now on, we should be okay. What I'm doing now is as soon as somebody has any symptom, we are immediately sending them to go get their results the same day. Because what they're doing is they're taking the free testing is taking up to 6 or 7 days, and it's really delaying everything. So we don't know to keep them on or not. So we're changing a little bit, our system here at work for COVID, and we're just doing the best that we can. So I just wanted to let you guys know, where we're at as far as that part. The guys, I'm going to start from my list from my notes. Our pest control treated the Floritan areas for weeds, such as dollar weeds and broadleaf. It was more of a spot treatment because we're getting a lot of weeds with all the rain that we've been getting. And so they did treat all the grass area. I'm not talking about the beds. I'm talking about the grass area. So we had that little 2-week dry spell with that, the Sahara dust and all that. So we did turn on the system to run 2 days out of the week on the irrigation. We might scale it down to 1, but right now it's set to 2 days. Just wanted, just to let you guys know. I submitted a proposal on Kay's Drive. Every year, this time of the year during the rainy season, we do the Brazilian pepper pushback. It's starting to encroach again on the sidewalk areas, ponds, and stuff like that. So I did submit that that proposal, which is estimate number
3688.
Yes, 36.
That's page 15 of your agenda packet.
Where is the walkway again?
I'm sorry?
It says the buffer, the walkway. You mentioned where it was. Where was it?
It's
What
actually
street?
on, it should be, I'm sorry, it's on Kay's Drive, and it's the lake. Claire didn't put I'm looking at it now. It's Kay's Drive, which includes the lakes and the sidewalk area. It's pretty much the general area that we've done every year, and including the south pond on Kay's Drive, that area that kind of buffers the lake. It's all encroaching, and then the sidewalk from Stella Mars forward all the way out, around the lake area. Now, I did see them working. I don't know if it was earth balance, but they were working in the preserved area, but they did not treat that area.
If it was the preserve area, it would have been the state.
Okay, that's it. They were there. Maybe, I don't know if you guys seen them out there, but they were there on the far corner, and they had a bunch of guys out there.
Yeah, I thought the Friends of the Fakahashi or whatever it was going to come out and do some cleaning. They never did
That's
it.
probably who it was, Russ. They were.
That's probably who it was. Yeah.
So they were up by 41. They were up near 41 way back in. So.
No, they were off Kay's Drive too.
Oh, okay. I didn't see anything.
Yeah, they were parked on the big empty lot, Russ, on the right as you pull out on the far corner.
Right.
So they were there, but this we've done pretty much every year. It's just been, it's just a Brazilian pepper. I wish they would get rid of them, but that's one thing that all we've ever done was just kind of clear it all, push it back so we can mow it and maintain those areas.
Is that but pretty much the price we've paid before, Robert?
Yeah. It's based upon pretty much on what we paid before. Sometimes it needs it. Sometimes we've gone 2 years before, but it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, it's pretty much in the range that we've done before.
All right, needs to be done.
Okay, is that a motion then?
I propose the motion to have.
Moved
I'll
by Ms.
second.
O'Connell.
I'll second.
Supported by Ms. Kellmeyer.
Yes.
I just have a question. When you cut it back, is there any way, are you allowed to spray any herbicide on that or anything?
I can kill it. I mean, it's just, it's just you're just gonna have a bunch of dead Brazilian peppers along that area. But that would be a different, proposal if we really wanted to kill the exotics on there, like the bigger clusters of the Brazilian peppers. We can cut it on the side and inject it, and it would kill the whole tree. But I have to propose that, differently. Normally, like I said, I know the state has done it before, but the last couple of years, I don't know if there's a boundary there or something, but they haven't done it in over 10 years or so. But normally what I've done is just, go from the lake, on the north side lake of Case Drive, that entire lake buffer, and then come down through all that area along Case Drive and the sidewalk up to Stella Mars, and then we jump over to the South Lake. But
Okay,
yes,
well,
they can be killed.
Why don't we agree to the cutback this time, but give me an idea next time what it would cost to kill that stuff.
That's fine.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
what would it cost?
So I'll write down here on my notes. All right, kill. Next forbid. Okay. Moving on.
Hold on. You got a motion on the floor.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
The motion
Aye.
is to approve proposal 3688 for $1,500 to cut back the Brazilian pepper along Case Drive. Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
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 Okay. Thank you, guys. Moving on, the work orders. When I called the notes to Catherine, I spoke to her myself. I called her on her cell before the meeting, and we had a little. All the work orders that were to be completed the previous month were completed. Just wanted to bring that up to date. On Mitch did me the favor and went out to the port, and the electrician, when he wire tracked that area, I was trying to save you guys a bunch of money because he tracked it back into the electrical boxes down by where all the phone and stuff. I guess it's centrally. I don't know who it is, but they have all their internet, phone lines, whatever, in that area. So the wire tracker threw him that direction. I don't know if he picked up a connection and it kind of diverted him that way. There's still no telling where that power is coming from. I was hoping that it was that area, the way it wire tracked into that area, but it was not. Mitch broke one of the locks off of it for me, and there was a breaker off. And he tripped it back on. I was hoping that was it. I really was positive, but it wasn't. He tripped it back on and still had no power. So that estimate that you guys had approved, it's going to have to be done just the way I proposed it. I was hoping that I can save you guys the $1,900. But Mitch did me that favor, and the outcome was that it still wasn't it.
Of course.
So, but there was a trip breaker. He was able to but it still wasn't, what we anticipated.
We checked the wire colors as well, and the wire colors changed. So where that thing is getting power from is beyond me. I actually opened every Comcast box. We opened everything. Could not find it.
So thank you, Mitch. We're just gonna run it up to the what is that right there? Is that like the backup pump or something, Mitch?
Yeah, the canal pump station, pump station, or we call it the fire station.
Yep. So we're just gonna run it there as we proposed. So just wanted to bring that up. I was trying to save you guys if I could all that money, but we're just gonna have to do the work and just complete it. So just wanted to bring you guys up to date, and thank you, Mitch, for doing that for me out there that day.
We approved that proposal, did we not?
Yes, it had been approved, but I was
okay.
Yeah, no, that's already been approved. Like I said, my goal was like, hey, if it's just something simple like this, I was hoping it would save you guys all of that, but it wasn't. So, we investigated a little bit further, but it's just there's no telling, to be honest. That's all. So I'm going to proceed as forward as it's been proposed. The bougainvillea, Catherine, we got them all. It's all cleaned up. We took out all the vegetation that was growing inside of it. That's already been done. I put that on my note for you guys. The pile of grass that Mitch had put on his notes. I mean, not Chris had put on his notes for the water plant was where Mitch did some digging out to fix that main line. There's some sawgrass and stuff kind of piled up, and I got with him to see if he can move it or if I can move it. And I guess you guys don't have the backhoe there no more, is what he told me. So I'll get my machine out there to dispose that pile of grass out there. I'll take care of it. So it's not a big deal. There's no proposal needed. I'll just get it out of the way. Because I know that was on the notes. We did remove the ditch shade tree. That's been done. And pretty much, I mean, I already covered the COVID stuff for you guys. I did have a proposal also, which was
the one on Union Road or the one
right.
on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the Union Road.
Union Road is page 16 of your packet.
All the palms on Union Road, they're hanging super low, a lot of dead stuff and all that. So I wanted to see if we can get an approval to trim all the palms, remove all seed pods, pretty much a little hurricane cleanup on those guys. It looks kind of shabby, but I wanted to get my tree guys in there to trim everything back and just clean it all up along in the median there. It was for the amount of $550.
How many trees is that, Robert?
It's a bunch of clusters of palms, and the Royals, canary palms. I'm gonna say a little over 10 palms, but they're clustered palms. You get it's multiple trunks. It's not just one palm.
Are you going all the way to the South Hotel? Or
Yes.
just as far
Yes.
as the...
No. Just the entrance all the way up to Swan, and then past all that, all the way down to the hotel.
Because there's some
quite
oaks hanging over there.
Coming from on the preserve area on the right side?
Yeah.
Okay. I can get those. And I can do the price the same. That's on the right side, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll get the oaks while we're there too if it gets approved.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on. Is there?
I move we approve that bid.
Okay. Moved by Ms. Dillon. Is there support?
I'll second it.
I'll second it.
Yeah.
Seconded by Mr. Kish. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Thank you, guys.
You want to go to the third one now, Robert? The
Yes,
one
yes.
on the 41 culvert.
Yes. And
That's
that came
page 14.
on Chris's report. He took pictures and he told me to put a bid together. On 41, as you head west on the other side of the median, there's a culvert. And it's been there for a while. It's starting to erode and wash out and cave in, and it's also knocking down the plants now that it's been, starting to happen and erode. I think it's because of all the high rain that we had at the beginning. It just made it a little bit worse. I wanted to propose, I think we should just get rid of the mulch bed because it connects right up to the culvert and bring in some fill. I was going to do lime rock and then mat it, which is like a fiber on the bottom, and then pretty much just sod it and make it more of a ditch area for the water. When it does rain, it's just going to flow right into it. What's happening now that they put a landscape bed almost right to the edge of it. So all the mulch, everything that when it rains, it just blows it all out and it goes right into that culvert. So I think if we grass that area and kind of get it more naturally to flow in there as it rains, it just kind of flows into that culvert. I think it would eliminate that issue based upon the report that Chris gave me by me looking at it. I think it would resolve the issue, more or less like the issue that we fixed there by the entrance of Union Road where the standing water. But this is what we're trying to do, is get the water to go into that culvert without, blowing out the mulch and the plants and all that. If you guys are driving there today or something, just kind of glance at it and you'll see that area that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it hasn't gotten better; it's gotten worse. So, and that was on for me to bid on from Chris.
That's on page 21.
No, 14, isn't it? The one I'm talking about?
The one he's talking about is page 21 or page 4 of Chris's report. But
Estimate
page 14 is the proposal.
36, estimate 3687.
Yes, that's the one we're discussing.
Yeah,
but the pictures of the site is on page 21.
Yeah, okay.
I have one question on the proposal. On the first line, it says landscape labor, 3 men, but the quantity is 4. So is it a 3 or a 4?
It's a 4-hour, site prep. What I'm going to do is remove all the existing, regrade the ground, just get all the preparation. So when we do put down the soil and the sod, it's going to flow just right into that culvert.
Yeah.
So your
Robert,
landscape
I
labor
think
is 4 men.
the point, it'd be per hour, not per 1 hour.
Correct. It's 3 men per hour times 4.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, and that's like I said, that's for that area that Chris has specified.
So is it best to take care of that right away because of the rain, or is it best to wait until the rain stops?
No, we can. I think we should take care of it now. What we're going to do is just going to eliminate what happens right now. It's got it already. It's not going to get any worse, but it's not going to get any better. But it's all caved in. It just needs to be done. And we can do it as long as we're not getting, as long as it's not full of water. And that area never fills up with water. It flows really good, but it's just the way they put the planter bed right on that culvert, and that should have always been sod.
Okay. Well, but that's what I mean. If we don't decide now, then we're going to wait another month, and that'll be August, and then it'll be, I don't know.
Could be even worse.
Yeah. So what happens if I heard?
Do we have the money?
Yes.
Okay. Well, like everything else, we've been fixing things that were originally not done the best, and then you got to fix it. So I'll make a motion to approve 3687.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Discussion?
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay.
All right. All 3 were approved then, Robert.
Okay. All right. Thank you. One last thing, guys. Catherine, that light was repaired at the main sign, and that was covered under warranty.
Wonderful.
Okay. The only thing is that it's a modern light, so the light is different, but it's been repaired, and it's no charge because the light's been there for a long time, so they couldn't match the same exact light, but now they have new LEDs, but it's been repaired. Nobody will notice it. It's in the bushes. But there's no charge for that. The electrician took care of that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys, and stay safe out there. We'll be talking.
All right, Robert, thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, that would take us to the district manager, and you've got a copy of the financial
Well,
report?
no, I got one more thing. I know Soto's done, and I saw that the exotics on these properties that they've been notified. I mean, that ongoing list.
Yes,
What do we do about that? I mean, do we report that to the county? What do we do?
yes.
Because I mean, some of the people have cleaned them up, so I mean, they really did a good job. So,
Right, and Robert did report that he hasn't been contacted by anyone else, so
can we send out like a final notification that we're going to notify the county if they don't take care of it? Because a lot of the lots are going for sale now. I don't know if that's because we're pressuring them to clean that up, or if the lots are just selling because now's the time to sell. So somebody's got to, do something or get off the pot.
Yeah, what we'll say if they haven't cleaned it up in the next 15 days, we will report it to the county.
Give them 30. Give them a month. I think a month is good, and then just let them know it's going to be reported to the county. If the county does it, God knows what it's going to cost them.
Mm-hmm.
And what do? Do they put a lien on the property, or how do they bill them for that? I don't know.
Well, they'll just bill them, but if they don't pay it, then they can put it as a lien on the property.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because we've been talking about this for 6 months at least.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
That takes us to the district manager's report, and you got the financials that you've got money. You pay for what you've just approved. You're almost you're virtually 100% collected. The difference would be what was not included in the discounts. So, but there is no financial concerns unless somebody's got a question or an issue.
Come on, Terry.
No, they're pretty good this month. They did.
Yeah, I didn't have anything on the financials.
We use a CPA who does a internal audit, and he just got back 2 or 3 months ago. So he had some hospital issues, but he is back again, and things are going good with him.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So need a motion to accept.
I put a motion out to accept the financials as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Just to give you an update, Chris included in a distribution yesterday basically a drainage report on Newport K, and it's a really good report that Ron's staff did, and we're going to get you some prices on how to take care of those things. I got a memo from the Ron staff person that did this, and if you look at photo 4, where that new construction's at, they're taking care of that, and they thought he'd do it today. So we'll get you a price, or I just got this yesterday. I wanted to show you that we are looking at the drainage issues where we know that there's a problem, and this is one, and we'll get, we're working on it. Anyhow, this is the initial report that was done. Ron, you want to comment any more on that?
Yeah, Cal, it's Ron. Yeah, the one comment is back a few months ago, or maybe longer, when the people were driving, construction vehicles were driving across the median there by that house.
Right.
And I talked he told me to talk to the guy. I talked to him, and they said, oh, they're going to get it all fixed. Obviously, a lot longer. But yeah, they promised me now to do it today. But they have, well, back when I first talked to them, they said they weren't going to put a median cut, which we had discussed at, the board meeting, that if they could do it at their expense, because, we have, had allowed other places on that same median to have those. And so now they said they want to put the median cut in. We just need to tell them what what our specifications are. And but I told David Schmidt, who's the engineer handling this for me, and I'm out of town. He said, well, what is the CID standard? And I said, well, we use the county standard by default. So tell them, they'll have to do it to the, whatever specification the county has for things like that. And I think, well, I don't recall exactly how it came about in the last discussion, but I thought the board had already said if they wanted to do it, they could do it, because historically it allowed others. But I figured we'd better verify that before we give them the specifics of exactly how to do it so it's done right.
Okay.
So, Calvin, you might want to get at least a consensus on that, because otherwise I'm telling them to go ahead and build it as long as they build it to the county standard.
Which would be restoration of the original design effort.
Yeah, but they're going to put down the asphalt to at the median crossing, like was done for some other homes along there years and years ago. And so I just want to make sure before anybody, puts down a little bit of asphalt that we don't get, that I didn't overstep my bounds, let's put it that way.
I've got a question. Is there any landscaping that really is very close to that, as far as some kind of bushes or hedge that's going to create a problem, A, for them, or B, for us when they knock it down?
I don't have, let's see, okay, I can get the photograph that he took that's in his report and see what they figure out. If any of those show that median. No, I don't think it does.
I don't think it does either.
Yeah, I drove by there back months ago when it was all being talked about with them, and I talked to the project manager with the builder. They basically said they've agreed to do what we tell them to do. So that would be part of our approval. Would be that they're going to do it the way we're going to let them do it the way we tell them to do it. So if there is something that has to be removed in order to do it right, it'll be taken care of. And
okay.
If there is a CID tree or shrub in the middle, which I doubt because they were driving through there, digging up the grass. So I don't think there's anything in the way. But if there was, and they have to move something and take something out, we would tell them to plant something to replace what they have to take out.
Okay.
I don't expect that in my recollection from months ago. So yeah, what we would do is we would go down and inspect it after they do it, make sure it's done the way we told them to do it, and the way we were going to tell them to do it would meet county standards generally. That's our default. So unless I hear otherwise, we'll go ahead and try to get it all taken care of, and hopefully it'll be attractive as they're finishing that house, which
I don't think that's why we rely on you, Ron, when we have situations like that. But
yeah, well,
as far as restoration of that drainage system throughout, that'll be on the next agenda. We'll put something together, get a price, an estimate of what it would be, and see if you guys want to address that now or push it back till later.
I've got another question about the drainage. Is this a similar situation as we were dealing with the houses, all of the off of Kay's Drive, in the back along the canal where the swales are filling in and this, that, and the other thing? Is this the same kind of situation, or is this different?
well, this is Ron again. I guess I'll clarify it, and which may not answer your question, but let me quickly try to clarify it. The drainage system that we're talking about in Newport is right along Newport Drive. I mean, it was put in obviously to drain that road, as well as allow them to, build those homes going back over 30 years ago, and even more. And so some of that, well, Newport Drive and then the Newport K, which was the first, that was all done under plans approved by Collier County, probably in the 80s for sure. Could have been even earlier 80s. So, it was put in, how much detail was shown on the drawings at the time to get a permit from the county was probably considerably less than today. Later, some of the stuff in Newport K might have been included in a later county permit and might have had a little bit more detail. But those drainage systems there are definitely, no questions asked, part of your system, part of the road. You either got them when you bought the assets of the developer when the CID was formed, or else you got them by some type of a deed or an easement later. So they are yours. They serve a public function of the CID with the road. The ones over on the K's are, in my opinion, similar, although the location was at the back of the lot instead of along the road, and the reason was that was more attractive for the lots to not have a ditch in the front yard, and that's why it was designed and permitted that way. So
okay,
there are similarities.
Okay, so Newport Drive, because it does affect the drainage of the road itself with people going in and out, is more critical to us than the back lots on off of Kay's Drive. Am I correct?
Well, they all serve the same function, and that's to get the water off the road and put it in a swale where it can percolate into the ground and recharge the groundwater. Instead of just running off. So they're both important. The Newport one is right there. It's been there for 35 years, longer than the CID, and CID acquired it in the documents where they bought all the assets that were road and drainage and utilities from the developer to set up the CID. So it's definitely ours. We've always, we haven't done much maintenance over the years on the drainage system, and that is something that is about a 20 to 30 year life on a ditch. And after, 20 or 30 years, it's expected that you will go in and do some maintenance, and that would be dig out where there's some dirt that's settled, grass clippings that have died, and all that kind of stuff. After 20 or 30 years, it builds up. Well, the system needs a little work, but it also when you do that, you want to bring in a survey crew and make sure that the swales are at the bottom of the swales at the right elevation. You dug it out. Usually, you dig it out a couple inches deeper than where it needs to be. You plant sods. You do all that kind of stuff. Well, there are things you can do that are less expensive and that could buy you, 5 more years. And that's what we suggested in our report. That there's specific points that you could probably have Soto, get a couple men out there with some shovels, and they could dig the obvious high points and places where water's standing, and it'll last, and it won't cost a lot of money. But eventually, you are going to need to, I think what David called it, reestablish the swale to be as designed, which I don't have a cost on that today.
Okay. Thank you, Ron.
I think another distinction with Newport versus the Cays is the drainage swells are located within your dedicated right-of-way on Newport Road. So they're your property. On the Cays, you have an easement for drainage purposes over private property, and the swells are located on the private property.
Yeah, that's a good distinction.
Okay, moving right along. That takes us to the field manager's report, and I'll start going through some things. And if you want me to stop and you got a question somewhere, let me know. The only real problem we've seen with the lakes is there's an abundance of torpedo grass, and we've let EarthGuard know, and they should be taking care of that. Mitch, how are you coming on moving that valve there that's we think is causing some of the asphalt repairs or failure on Newport Drive?
Yes, my guys are going to be out there working on it. I believe it's Tuesday of this week when they do that 3-inch meter over for the boat dock. So it's Tuesday or Wednesday it'll be done.
Okay. The sign that's down on Swan Way and Union Road, Chris has moved that. They'll take care of it next time they're on site if they haven't already done it. It was mentioned about the signage, and on page 20 or page 3 of the report, you'll see how it looks now. There's a before and after picture there. We're gonna grind down 157 K's Drive. We're gonna go ahead and grind that down. And but Chris has made the comment that if it sinks anymore and you still get that blockage, you got maybe one grinding opportunity, and then after that it'll just fall apart if you try and grind it. Tischler on 120 Wilderness K, we've had problems with getting him out there. I think since he lost the one, he's not sure he feels it's worth his time, but we're going to get another quote to get it done if he doesn't respond. Page 21, you approved a proposal to take care of that M41 median catch basin. Ron talked about the developer on that culvert is supposed to do that this week or today. We'll be sending out letters. You can see the colors that Chris has picked up. It's going to be the cayenne stone and then the rose dust, and that's as close as he can get. Okay. let's see, on page 8 or page 25, there's another picture of that valve box, but then you've got a missing cover on Venus K that was mentioned earlier, and Mitch is going to take care of that. Anything else in the report?
Tree root?
The one that was repaired?
Yeah.
That was done. Yeah, that was done.
Okay.
That takes us to the follow-up items, and then the littoral plantings, the lake maintenance, littoral plantings. We got the problem, like I said, with the torpedo grass that we've told him he's got to take care of. But he planted 150 golden canna on the June 26th last month. And the first pond got 80 plants, and the balance, which would have been 70, was 35 in each of the other 2 ponds. He's going to check on the plants. I think you approved 300, and he's going to be checking on them, make sure that they're surviving before he proceeds with the remaining plants. But that's coming along. We talked about the Wilderness K and the 157 K's Drive, and then the painting, they says he'll have it done by September. And then the Newport Drive tree root damage that was completed and when they did the all the Union Road and Stella Maris, that's all been completed.
The paving on Union?
Yes, that was done.
That was $7,000?
Yes.
I'm not real happy with that.
Well, they didn't have much to work with. They were just filling holes with that.
No, I know. But that's what I mean, that it cost $7,000. That seems, now that I look at what they did, I mean, it's going to get chewed up when they tear that hotel down anyway. Everything's going to go to hell, but that I was not, you can let them know, I didn't think that was there's still deep spots, there's still water puddling. I just didn't expect that for $7,000, filling in some holes.
Okay. I'll pass that on. What about Stella Maris North? Are you happy with that? Or the tree root repair?
I didn't notice anything there. It's, so I mean, just when I drove back after rain and everything back there, back on because I saw that alone was over $7,000, and I mean, I know I'm talking years ago, but I paid 400 feet, 12 feet wide for $9,000, and I got a completely new road, not just patchwork. And you're only talking, I'd say he maybe patched 7, 8 holes, so you're looking at what, $1,000 a hole? Come on, you have to look at it sometime. It's really, and it's like I said, there's still water sitting in different spots. It's going to wear out again, depending on how much traffic we have going that way.
From the pictures, it looked like there was more than 7 or 8. It looked like there was quite a few on there.
Well, some of them were, 1.5 feet by 2 feet. You know what I mean? And there was a couple that were probably larger, 6 by 6 or something like that. But
right.
The amount of the yardage of tar he put in there, it's too bad we can't get that amount to see what was put in. I'm telling you, it's. I'm going to want an estimate from somebody else when we do some of these other jobs.
Sure.
I seen Stella Maris North. They have 2 orange cones out where you can't go across a drain, but then they have a lot of heavy equipment going up and down there, putting in those docks. So I don't know how well it's going to hold up.
Well, that would
it does look like a.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me check on that. But I think that was just to keep them off until the asphalt cured. It's if it still should be, then I'll see what we can do.
Well, that road's a lousy design anyway.
Yes, it is.
It is.
I
Okay.
have a question about the asphalt. I
Yes.
know since we've been at the port, at least Newport has been done. Do we have a time frame for when we're could be, should be, will be repaving at the port? Just curious.
No. It's in there. I believe there's some paving in the CIP, but there's, everything got put on hold because of the financial crisis.
Sure. Okay. Just
Oh,
curious.
this is Ron again. Yeah, we had a plan and a program, and we got partway through. We did all of Newport's area, and then we did the back half of the K's, and then we stopped and you said, well, wait a minute, let's wait until we have enough money. So the area from about halfway back Case Drive out to 41, and then anything north of 41 didn't get done. And actually, when you think about when it was done on Newport Drive, that's starting to get to where we would have potentially been coming back around in a few more years and maybe doing some work on Newport. So I guess at some point when you think you have funding, we will give you what our specific recommendations are as to which sections of your road should be done in what order and ballpark what the cost is for each section. But that's been on hold until you asked me to specifically do that. I mean, we're happy at any time. I mean, it won't take that long.
All right. That takes us to the engineer's report, and we have received on the dock water.
Al, before you go there,
Yeah.
stupid question, but page 24 with the mosquito spraying.
Yes.
We have the mosquito spraying on 520 and then 525. But the invoice includes 522.
Chris might have just made a mistake in putting that in. He doesn't count them. He goes off of Chad's report, and that he might just have missed that when he entered it.
Yeah, I just want to be sure it was done. Sure
Yeah,
it was.
So. Chad's been really good at getting out there and getting things done. I've had, this is probably the first time I've had no complaints on mosquito spraying. So.
Wait, we haven't. I haven't heard any.
No. Mm-mm. He's on top of it. Okay. The dock water, I'm not sure why we put it under engineer's report, but it's just the water connection. And so the new service is, Mitch is going to run it, but they have paid the money for the connection and the meter and the backflow. So that's been received and we're moving forward on it. Ron, I don't know if you've got anything. Mitch, you just mentioned a little while ago that you've got it scheduled for, I think he said Tuesday.
Yes, sir. I can't remember. It's either on the schedule Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll have to look, but it is the middle of next week. Yes, sir.
Right. But the check has been received and deposited. It's about $16,000. Okay. Ron, any comments on that?
Yeah, that one, we had the early stages of that project or work with the neighborhood there. And then it's at this point, it's in the manager and Mitch's area. And then when it's all finished, one time we're down there, we'll go by and take pictures, inspect it, and make sure that it actually was done to the standard that we, provided to the contractor working for the HOA. So, yeah, you can take that off of my report for the future, I guess. The other items, mainly, we've already talked about that would be under my report. There's one item that we're working on right now, and that's the specification for bidding the water meters. And I have everything I need from Mitch that he got from the companies that would be the bidders. So I'll get that together, and then I guess it'll bid sometime toward the end of the fiscal year, and then the bids would be set up for the work to be done in the early part of next fiscal year. There was one. Oh, the other item that we did some work on this month was pulling the stuff together for Dan on the MBR, and I sent Dan recently a memorandum of my recollections regarding all that, which I verbally verified that I was remembering correctly with Dawn Bernard, who's on my staff, who was working with me at the time, and she still works with me, but I mean, she was very involved with me at the time that was going on, so we made sure we had the same recollection. I had my secretary locate some of the notes and different things if we need them, so she has the they go back to that time period. We I think Dawn talked to Mitch to get his to make sure we were all thinking of the same thing as far as where the three of us, myself, Dawn, and Mitch, were doing things together. And Dan has that, and I guess he can decide, or he'll probably report on it later. So that's what he's going to do next with what I gave him. I think everything else we already covered.
Okay.
Wait, I got one thing. You were talking about the COVID testing on that water. I got another question about the water in the by the marina, by the big boats, right at the corner of the main canal and the marina. Like you'd be looking, if you stood on the corner there, you'd be looking southeast. I was riding my bike around there one time, and it smelled really bad, like an open sewer. And there was water, scummy water floating around the boats. Is there any way we can get a fecal water test when we need one? Because I think either something was leaking or somebody dumped their lines out there. You know what I mean? Their tanks. I don't think they were, either that or the pumping station leaked or something. It wasn't good. It only lasted it was there for about 2 or 3 days, and then it was gone.
Well,
Has anybody ever complained about that?
Yeah, probably what you need to do is someone needs to contact first the Collier County, what do they call it, environmental. There's a department in Collier County, environmental something.
I think it's
Pollution control. So we probably want to contact someone with pollution control, and usually on stuff like that, they go out and take the samples and
okay,
begin any enforcement. So that's something that we probably ought to have a strategy of how we would want to contact them. I think a lot of times that you get more bang for your buck if you have 4 or 5 or more citizens call in and make the complaint. So, the CID was to file a complaint. That's just like one person. But we could do this. Someone from the CID, I guess, could write a letter also. But I think phone calls and letters from residents would probably get the most attention.
Okay.
They have permits. They have permits from both. Well, they're from the state, and that's a violation. So they're responsible. So we need to make it. I mean, if you want either myself or Dan or somebody or Cal or all of us to write letters, we could do that as one part of it. But I think citizens would be, residents would be important.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right. That takes us, Dan, anything not on the agenda?
Well, just as Ron mentioned, I did get the memorandum from him. I've reviewed it. I've got a few questions, probably calling him first of the week, and then I'll get with Cal and we'll try to figure out how we want to approach ST. But from our discussions that we had earlier in the month, there's probably not enough to justify trying to pursue a lawsuit. It would be extremely expensive, and recovery would be, not near what you would spend probably.
Okay. All right. Any questions of Dan?
Yes. I got a letter yesterday. I don't know if you can see it upside down. I don't know. Anyway, it was addressed to me, a handwritten letter. It looked I don't know, just didn't look official. But it's from PrepMac LLC. Dan, it says case number 19-CA-003923. And it says a default is entered in this action under Florida blah 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 against the defendant, Port of the Islands Community District, for failure to file or serve any paper in this case as required by law, dated July 7th. And it's from Rhodes Tucker.
Send that to me because we had an agreement with them that we weren't going to file and they weren't going to default us. That we were going to work this with PrepMac. We had meetings with PrepMac and they never came back to us about anything.
Right.
Who's PrepMac?
Who
are they?
Marina.
Marina.
Right.
Oh, okay.
He's
right.
the guy who bought the well.
Wonder why they would send it. Wonder why they would send it to you, Russ. As opposed to the attorney or your registered agent.
I don't know.
No,
he was out of town or something and had stuff was going to be sent to me, and they must have just had that on record or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You got the initial complaint, I think, didn't you, Russ?
I think so. Yeah. All right.
I'll send you my address and you can just send it to me and I'll take care of it.
Okay.
You want to, Russ, scan it to me? I'll forward it to Dan.
I can't. I don't have that capability.
Okay.
My computer ineptness is vast.
All right. Anything else?
I can take a picture of it, but that's it.
Picture might not be bad.
If you send it to me, I'll make sure Cal gets a copy as soon as I receive it.
Okay.
Okay. All right, moving on. Roadway repairs we talked about. That's been completed. North Hotel, the last communication I had from Tony Mott, I forwarded to everyone where they're anticipating that by the end of the year or early next year that it should be down.
Hooray, hooray.
Okay. Any, then the MBR issues we talked about. And any questions on any of those three items? All right, and then invasive vegetation, I think we've talked about that pretty much, the Brazilian pepper along the Case Drive, and then we will be sending out the follow-up letter.
I got talking about cutting and whatnot. What about the airplane guys out there? Are they responsible for cutting all that out there by the water treatment plant?
Yes, yes, they
Yeah,
are.
it needs to be cut.
Yeah, it's long.
Okay. All right. I'll send them communication. All right. Anything on, and then they'll change out, water meter change out, as Ron says, he's finalizing specs. We should have those to you for the next meeting. New business, you got a copy of the finance or the audit. It's a good, clean audit. He's got money. See, the general fund has 803,000. The water fund didn't have much, but that's because of the money that they owed. They were showing as being an obligation due to from. If you look at their comments, they said they didn't identify any deficiencies in internal control, no instances of non-compliance, and there were no prior year audit findings that needed to be addressed. Any questions on the audit?
No, it was a good audit.
Yeah, it was a good audit.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
nicely presented.
Burger Tombs, they're a pretty good firm. They work well with us. If nothing, then we need a motion to authorize the chair to sign the AFR, the annual financial report, and accept the audit for fiscal year 2019.
So moved.
Second.
I second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Supervisor requests and/or comments?
Nothing for me.
Anyone else? Nothing? Okay, that should take us to audience comments. Is there anyone from the audience?
This is Audrey Sanders. I'd like to make a few comments.
Okay.
Thank you. One is last night we had the Commissioner District 1 candidates at Anglers Cove. They did a great presentation. I want to thank Terry. She represented the CID. They asked a lot of questions of the audience regarding Port of the Island. And what was great about this was that I think we're finally getting POI on the map with local officials, because now they know we exist and what our concerns are, especially the old hotel. In fact, one of the gentlemen, Rick LaCastro, went to the hotel, went into the hotel, took pictures, and he said, this is an atrocity and we really shouldn't have waited this long. So I know that we will have someone as a county commissioner that will be on our side for the island. So that was great. And Russ, we did ask them your question. They did not know the answer to it.
Of course not.
So had Susan Boland, who is from the Sheriff's Department. At the last CID meeting, it was expressed, I think from Ray, regarding the concerns we had of the surveillance at the old hotel. So Susan Boland, who actually goes to the old hotel, came and gave us a lot of statistics regarding how many times they would call for stolen property, hang-ups, 911 calls. I asked her to email that to me, and then I will give it to you, Cal, so you can disseminate it to whoever you want. I thought it was very interesting, and I didn't even know how often that people call the Sheriff's Department, how often they come. For instance, she put a sign that asbestos is in the old hotel, and somebody put graffiti right over it. So there are still trespassers going there, and it still needs to be monitored. They repaired the fence. Someone came back a couple of days later and mutilated the fence again. So the sooner that atrocity of a hotel gets demolished, the better off we are. Also, I know Cal and I had a little bit of a conversation. August 18th is the primary, and we have 4 candidates for 2 positions for CID. I remember a couple of years ago, some of them did like a little presentation of who they were. We haven't done that this year, and your next CID meeting is August 21st. So I'm asking, is there any way that either a Zoom or something could be done with those 4 individuals, so the people at Port of the Island will know who to vote for the CID for this coming year?
Yeah, what happened last night was very important.
As far as a candidate's night for the port, that could be set up if that's what the board wants to do.
I think it should be, because most of the people don't know or aren't sure about who's running, their qualifications. They have no way to get that information. Whereas if there was a forum like this one was last night, it helps you get to know all the candidates.
Last election that I was in, I did a lot of emailing to people that are registered voters. I know Jeannie missed the newspaper, and Jeannie, and I know she did a little, even when you ran, Terry, a little presentation in the paper, and we don't have that anymore. I'm open to anything.
Yeah, well, I did a lot of emailing also, but not everybody has email. Not everybody reads their email.
That's true.
I know there was something at the hotel where I was invited, and I gave a little bit of my background. And it was nice to meet a lot of people in the community doing that.
Well, Audrey's got an email list. She must have contacted almost everybody. So maybe you could just set something up again.
That's only Orca Cove. I don't have a list of Port of the Island, but
okay.
Yeah, but I think that it'd be a great idea, even if you had it at the hotel, but if that's not possible, just do a Zoom. And someone could ask the questions of the candidates, and they could do a little bit of bio and feedback regarding who they are, because, I know the people from Orca Cove. I don't know the person who is, I know Terry, you said her name is Donna. I have no idea who she is.
Yeah, Diane Moore. Yeah, she's at Stella Mars North. So, but yeah, we should do that, unless, I don't know, because a lot of what happened, I, like Catherine, did it on my own. I don't remember who put together the event that went on at the hotel, but I know I got up, there was some issue going on. I think Mr. Jensen was involved with it, and he had some meeting or something, and I was there, and they invited me to speak. But I could find out. I could ask the candidates and ask the hotel and see if I can put this together.
Sure. We could also look at a webinar where the candidates would be presenters and everybody could just watch. It'd be a little better connection than what this is. I don't think it would be much of a cost, if any. And let's see, I could also try and get the mailing list from Jeannie. She has a master email list.
I think you can get it from the Supervisor of Elections also.
It's
free.
That's just address. That's not email addresses.
No,
Yeah,
it's got some.
If you
it does
get
have
the email list, it's going to be a public record then, and a lot of those people may not want that to be a public record.
Correct.
True.
Well, we could put it on your website, Cal. We put it on Orca Cove's website. I could do the mailings with John for Orca Cove, and you could think of something, for the rest of the port. But I think it'd be important for people to know who they're voting for.
Okay. Well, how about if Chris from my staff and Terry kind of combine and look at what we could put together, and looking at a webinar, looking at on the website. If you guys want us to do that, we will. I mean, I don't promote anything like that unless that's something that
You can't.
Yeah.
So, okay. Next agenda.
Thank you.
Okay, are you okay with that, Terry? Can you work with our staff in putting together a program?
Yes.
Or options, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else from the audience? All right, I guess we're ready to adjourn. Is there a motion?
A motion we adjourn. There you go. A second.
I second.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, have a nice rest of the month and stay safe.
Thanks, everybody.
See you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye now.